conclave really stands out in the sweep of views we get. There are people from Europe, there are people from Asia, there are people from China, Korea, Japan. It is very interesting to see these many different views and experiences compared. So I'll make 2 points. First, on India's investment growth. Private investment growth has slowed in India from pre-pandemic rates to post-pandemic rates. And that is the opposite of what has happened in other emerging markets and developing economies. It's the opposite of what has happened to public investment growth. But even with this slowdown, private investment growth in India is still higher than in the average for other emerging markets and developing economies. So by international standards, private investment growth is not weak. By India's standards, it's weak. What is weak by international standards is FDI. The FDI to GDP ratio in India is in the bottom quartile. Net FDI GDP ratio is in the bottom quartile of emerging markets and developing economies. That's point one. The second point is I draw attention to 2 opportunities for investment. One is in services exports and the other is in goods exports, because it's the export industry or the tradable industries that foreign investors tend to be interested in. In the export industry, I point to a phenomenon that was already pointed out by, I think, Natikis, that computer services exports have been soaring relative to average services exports since the introduction of ChatGPT in November 2022. So computer services exports have grown by 30%, but overall services exports only by 10%. There seem to be real opportunities in that sector. And the government the foundations are laid for benefiting from ChatGPT and other AI because the government readiness index is very high. The other opportunities on trade. India currently has much fewer trade agreements than other emerging markets and developing economies and has higher tariffs on intermediate goods. And this is something that holds back its manufacturing sector. So I'll show that if these trade agreements that are currently under negotiation materialize, it would increase the market access of India's manufacturing industry by multiples.
You have been investing in India. What's the motive?
There's a wide range of projects we have historically engaged in. We discuss very closely with the authorities what works for them, what we can finance.